Welcome to Ready, Set, Real Estate, where we will help empower and educate you on many different aspects of real estate, finance, and investing. Each week, we will expand your knowledge and uncover hidden truths. We will break down real-world scenarios and study actual how-to strategies. Anyone can buy real estate, but together we'll ensure you make smart real estate investment decisions. Now, here's your host, award-winning author, international speaker, and real estate educator, Lisa Gillett.
Happy Wednesday, beautiful folks, wherever you are on this still phenomenal planet. I have some updates. I have some news. I feel good. I've had a pretty productive morning. I'm upwards of, where are my steps at? I'm at over 9,000, just over 9,000 steps. Today's Wednesday. So I do weights on Wednesday. I do a full body like workout Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I've got like a little extra energy that's got me feeling a little upbeat. How about you? What are you doing? What you got going on? Let me see. Am I live on IG? Yes. Let me go ahead and copy and paste. So shout out to those of you who are tuning in wherever you are. Let me see. Post, boom. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Yes. So, wow. It's Wednesday, and I'm messing with the sounds on this thing real quick. Hold on. Let me just do a sound check, because when I come on here and I start touching stuff, that's when I get myself in trouble, is because I'm touching stuff. And I shouldn't be doing that. All right. So, okay, cool. All right. Let's see here. Got a good show topic for you today. For those of you who are new to the show, say hi, say hello, drop a comment down below. My name's Lisa Gillett, depending what part of Belize, right? If you're, the origins is our folks are from Belize. My husband is. And so when I say it in English, I'm like Gillette, and people are like, oh yeah, like the razor. And I'm like, exactly, without the E, but I'm still razor sharp. Don't you forget it. You guys know I'm sharp. I'm also broker owner. I'm just kind of giving introductions before I get into today's show, because I've got a good core subject here for those of you who are looking to buy a fixer. If you've noticed, if you've kind of been following some of the trends in real estate, you're noticing prices are kind of dipping. What's going on, right? What's going on out there? Well, we get to talk about what's going on out there, and I get to share what's going on out there with you real quick. All right, let's see. So we are live streaming on LinkedIn, Meta. Where else? We're on all these cool pages, all these cool platforms. And all right, I've got all systems go. I'm like all over the place because there's so many different platforms that we multi-stream from. And I just want to make sure all systems are go. Yes, we are good to go. Now I can focus. All right, let's see. I was doing introductions. So again, for those of you who are new to the show, say hi, say hello, welcome. My name is Lisa Gillett, also known as Super Agent. My handles on all social media platforms is LA Super Agent. Born and raised, but not made here. Let's get that clear. Born and raised in LA, but not made here. All right. And broker owner of our boutique firm here based in Southern California, but we're not limited to Southern California. We go where our clients need us, in particular, inheritors, successor and interest, administrators, executors, right? Those are keywords for roles and authorized roles of people who handle trust and estate sales. Not oftentimes is it a sale. Sometimes you need someone experienced to come on board and assist you with valuation. So we also do BPO, broker priced opinions. We come out, do a walkthrough, we run some numbers, and we kind of give you what our opinion is about the valuation of that property based in its current state, based on the ARV after repair value. And then we give you some strategies and tips in terms of markability of their property from an as-is sale to a 30-day sale to a 90-day sale. If it takes 90 days, what does that look like, right? And what else? I've got some cool designations. All that means is I really love what I do. I could do continuing education. And here is where I get to have lots of fun right here on the platform, doing the podcast thing now. How long? Wow, how long has it been? 2017 to today. I feel like we kicked it off in the summer. I was playing around on Instagram and I was like, ready, set, real estate to like a Rihanna song. Oh, no, no, oh, and I was just playing around and the name like popped up. And I was like, wait, I think that's a great name. I ran out and trademarked it. And here we are. We've got merged. We've got the newest collection. I cannot believe I do not have it. I'm going to post it on IG. Kyle, my husband, you've got my stickers. So we've got the new Ready Set sticker collection. I'm really excited about that. Let me bring that up real quick, just so you guys can see what we're doing on our side. On the other side, we are actually doing a really cool rebranding of the show. So let me bring that up. Let's see. Is that going to work? Did it like it? Yes, exactly. So let me change my outlays real quick because it's doing something weird. Let me get rid of this one in the back and just go black back here. Boom. There you go. All right. So yeah, you'll start to see this as we're rebranding the show. And I'm really excited about this design. It's got some headphones, podcasts, got some blueprints, got a couple different key sets, and it's got that vibrant color, high energy, real estate concepts, terms, ideas, that zeal, right? It just speaks to me. So we ordered some customized holographic Ready Set stickers, Ready Set real estate stickers, and it's got the QR code so that you can check us out if you're new, and you can scan the QR code. It'll take you to our YouTube channel, our webpage, where you can buy the merch and all different things and support the show. Just know we're still cooking on the other side here, where we are looking to bring our boot camps back. I don't think it's going to be, I don't see this summer happening because your girl's going on vacation. I'm going on a vacation. So between studying and all this other stuff that I had going on and that I was doing, I am going for a long overdue vacation, and I'm really thrilled about it. And you'll love me more for it when I come back. You will absolutely love me more for it. So I'm excited about that. So that's the new stuff that's happening with the show. Let's see what else is going on. Updates. So let's do updates real quick. We like to talk about our quarterly updates. We are in May, second quarter. This is a good time for you to reevaluate some things that happened in first quarter. As for me, just want to share some updates. I had sat for the bar and I was short 56 points. I passed the written component, multiple choice. It was not as impressive. I definitely could have did better on my essays, which would have carried my scores higher to a passing grade. So I was 56 points short, which is a very, very small gap. So my first go round, I am super proud, super, super proud of my performance then, my performance now, everything that I put in. And again, for this journey and this walk to be first gen graduate, first gen JD holder, first gen sitting for the bar, first gen business owner, first gen entrepreneur. Get it? You get it, right? There's a lot of firsts happening here. So I'm extremely, extremely proud of what we've been doing, what I've been doing, what I've been putting forth, and what we've been doing together collectively with all your love and support. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom, the middle, and the top of my heart, that you all have continued to inspire, motivate me, and encourage me, which is why I continue to do this show. In fact, I got a wild idea this morning. Don't you love when I get wild ideas? Yes, because then I've got more stuff I'm going to execute. So I have this wild idea. I want to bring back the career series. If you recall, when we first started the show in 2017, I was talking about real estate careers. So I want to bring that back, especially, I think it's a good season. We've got some new graduates, right? I see a lot of the class of 2026. I could not believe it's 2026 already. I was last year's, class of 2025. And now, hello, just amazing. Like, couldn't believe it. So law school grad last year, and now here I am. It's a year later, just amazing. So thanks for joining us. Those of you who's at, it says JMillX7 just joined us on IG. Shout out. Thanks for stopping in. I know some of you are catching either early lunch or getting ready to head to lunch, and you're scrolling through, seeing what this gal is over here talking about. So today we're going to be talking about buying a fixer. Buying a fixer. Are you buying a fixer? Well, you need to know this ASAP. And those of you who know me know that I do not like to use the word ASAP because it's not real. it's like not real. Give me a time, give me a deadline, give me a due date. I know how to work with that. But it's totally, I guess, clickbait. You need to know this ASAP. I'm going to cover some really quick tips that you need to know. You have to know if you are thinking about buying a fixer. And it's usually sometimes because you're thinking budget wise, right? Like, this is what I can afford, quote unquote, right? This is what my purchasing power gets me. It doesn't need to be move-in ready. I can buy a fixer. If you've thought about it, if you said it, if you know someone who said it, please make sure you share. Make sure you share. Okay. So press 1 lets me know you're here. Press 2 lets me know you shared it. And as we get into the show content, you can always do a mic drop emoji and let me know that you were feeling that, right? All other friendly and funny emojis are welcome too. He says, it popped up, saw your face and tapped in. Smiles. Thanks for always caring about the community. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. And it really is about caring. So, and you all give me this, right? You give me this. This is what it is. You're giving me this. Okay, before I jump into that real quick, so let's see here. So we talked about quarterly goals. That was what's going on with my quarterly goals. Again, annualcreditreport.com. If you haven't checked your credit, make sure you do that. Okay, those are freebies. You don't need to pay anyone. That's the official federally approved website. It's annualcreditreport.com. Stay on top of what's going on with your report because you never know when somebody's grabbing your identity and going to buy a house or getting a car in your name or getting an apartment in your name, opening some credit cards and doing all kinds of stuff. So make sure you stay on top of that. Like I said, some of you are probably using the Equifax, Experian, TransUnion accounts offered free through your bank. Banks have now partnered with the credit bureaus. So great. That's great. Stay on top of it. That's important. If you've got any other things you're thinking about in terms of quarterly goals, credit is very forgiving. Okay. Since we also just came after the tax period, some of you are on extension, me, on the tax period. So if you still need to figure out like the tax stuff and then you're thinking about buying, let me say this, and you are going to finance, lenders are looking at that three letter initials on your tax return. I've got to pull it up in what line item it is, depending on what return we're talking about. But in short, it starts with 3 letters. It's AGI, the adjusted gross income. I'm speaking to you, my 1099 my self-employed, my business owners, AGI, and some of you who really are trying to get those tax refunds because you're like, I got the, homie hookup. Stop doing that. Stop doing that with the tax refunds and the homie hookup, especially when you're getting ready to buy real estate. Because when you are looking to partner with a lender, right, you are now asking someone to lend you money. They now are looking at, well, how much did you bring? How much did you clock in? And so you say, well, I made a good 160,000, 120. I made 80, whatever the numbers are. I made 90, 110, whatever the numbers are. You say, cool, I had a good year, right? I started a new job. I started a new hustle. I started a new venture. We did great this past year. However, you wrote off a significant amount of that. And guess what happens? Guess. You guessed it. They only care about the take-home money. AGI. AGI is the adjusted gross income. That's all they're caring about. So if you made 100, you clocked in 100, that's your gross. Adjusted gross income is after all deductions and write-offs and everything you did. And be careful because you're writing off stuff that wasn't a business expense, but you're trying to save on having to pay the tax liability. There's a difference between avoiding taxes and being tax efficient. I'm not a tax preparer, but I see it all the time because we've got to do the numbers and run the numbers. Strategic real estate planning, strategic real estate investing when it comes to leveraging your money with other people's money, OPM, is a 3-year game. 3 years. That means clock in the money, report the money, and then not necessarily minimize, but be mindful about what your deduction. Spread it across the tax years. Seek, consult with a tax preparer, an accountant to see what works best for you. That's what you need to be talking with your tax preparer when you file your tax return. Hey, guess what? So I've decided, things are looking kind of good. Maybe the next 2 to 3 years, I would like to purchase a property. Can you give me some guides, best tips on what I need to be doing? Hello. And then guess what? They're going to give you all the best guides, all the best tips in terms of how to make sure that AGI is really attractive for the lender who says, oh, yes, we like this, even if you're self-employed, even if you're 1099. Okay. All right. I feel like I just went on a whole rampage just now. I feel like it was overdue. And I've said it. That's that. All right. Okay. Before we jump into the show, that wasn't even the show. I just gave you that for free. Okay. That was not even the show. It's just being strategic when we jump into this thing called real estate and we're leveraging other people's money. We've just got to hello, right? I mean, just trying to help us out here, okay? Help me help you. All right, here we go. We got a show sponsor. Dang it, where's the book? Show sponsor. We'll be right back after this sponsor break. And who's it for today? Show sponsor, Real Estate 100, the Teen and Millennial Investment Blueprint. We'll be right back, guys. Did you grab your copy? I got my copy. Hold on. Let me bring it back real quick. So this comes in a hard copy. Anthony, colleague and real estate investor, he is out in Philly, and we partnered to come up with the second book series of Real Estate 100. So here it is, Real Estate 100, the Teen and Millennial Investment Blueprint. This talks about house hacking and all the other stuff. It's got some really cool things. What you should know when you are looking to invest in income property. There's got a cool little, I'm kind of giving away all the good stuff here, but let me see. I'm trying to look for that spreadsheet. There's a cool breakdown in terms when people are talking about, you know, like expenses, and when you're calculating, doing the math. This is really important. Okay, really important to know what the expenses are, because when you have a mortgage to pay and you say, well, I'm going to collect rent and the rent is going to pay and cover the mortgage, well, guess what? There's a cute little table in there that we says, well, with property comes property taxes, property insurance, flood insurance, vacancy rate, repairs, capital expenditures, water, sewer, gas, electricity. Oh my gosh, and the list goes on. Get it? Get it? It's not just collecting rents and you're cash flow positive. Not quite. That's not quite. Okay, so just wanted to share with you. Check that out, realestate100.net. That's the website. You can go direct. You can buy the e-course, the books, and the whole thing, everything associated with Real Estate 100, the movement. This is where we were introducing real estate literacy to our younger generation. Remember, those of you who are new to me, I had founded, right? We've since then restructured, but I founded Real Estate 100, the youth foundation, where we were teaching real estate literacy to ages 10. I think we went in second grade. What's second grade? Let's see. My bonus daughter, I think she's in second grade. She just turned 8. So she's like, we're teaching as young as 8. Hello. We're doing a lot of stuff here with that. And then we were collaborating with different organizations, for profit and nonprofit, and just introducing Real Estate 100, the movement, right? Okay. Sometimes I forget how far we've come. We've come so far, so far. All right, let's talk about the fun stuff. You still with me? Good. We'll make it quick and short for today. I'm 22 minutes in, but I'll wrap this up and just give you some good stuff here. The juice about buying a fixer and the things that you need to know. All right, so let's jump into it. You can grab a screenshot or you can save this and make sure you come back as a replay, because not everything's on the slide. I'm just going to pour into you classroom style. So the money, let's talk about the money when we're buying a fixer. Oftentimes folks are coming in and they're wanting to use low down payment programs, first time home buyer programs. That's great. Do know there's 2 types of programs for that. So far, right, in terms of financing. So you've got a Fannie Mae program, and then you've got the FHA insured program. Most lenders are approved to offer these programs, but let me just be clear. If you got a house that you're passing by down the street, it's boarded up, it needs some work, it's dilapidated, it's deferred, whether it's off market or on market, and you're like, you know what, I just got pre-approved to purchase a property, I'm going to call my person, right? My realtor agent or super agent. Hello. I'm going to call my person and I'm going to ask them if I can go ahead and schedule a time, walk through it, and we want to write this property up, write it up. However, take pause, slow down, bring it all the way back. Put the brakes on that real quick. If you are using an FHA insured loan, you've got a conventional loan, guess what? Typically, lenders are underwriting you, pre-qualifying you, giving you a pre-approval for what? A standard move-in property. Move-in ready. Not something like this picture on here of this house where it's kind of falling off. Windows are boarded up, doors are boarded up. There's no running water. There's no stove. You might have some discoloration, i.e. mold happening. Some other issues. The roof needs to be repaired. The chimney's falling off. Get it? You get it? We've all seen it. We know what's going on in some of our communities and areas. So we've seen it and we go, gosh, I could qualify and buy that house. Time out. Not exactly. Okay, so let's talk about the money and the financing that you are using. Write this down. I'm going to drop it in the comments. If you are going FHA, right, typically a lender has pre-approved you FHA with 3.5% down. That's fantastic. You did the work. We can do a little bit better as well. If we get the debt down, I'd like for us to use the conventional loan products that are available and that are out there. Okay. I know there's this big push on FHA, but they tend to be expensive in terms of, going in, but it's forgivable. It's forgiving in terms of it allows you, it's the FHA insured product allows you to carry more debt. That's why it's so popular, because the entire of the United States has a lot of debt. Most people are carrying a lot of debt. The big things are what? Your cars, and student loans. I got a question real quick. So are there programs in LA County that help seniors restore exteriors of such properties? Yes, there are programs for that, and they come by way through different organizations, different nonprofit organizations. I would suggest you check out it's NHS, Neighborhood Housing Services. They do a lot. They are one of the entities that receive funding from the state, from the county, right? So from the top level, the money comes down and is distributed to nonprofit organizations. They are one of them. There are others. There are also programs directly with the cities, depending what city the property is in. You can do restoration on the property. So one things they do not want to see with those particular properties is they don't want you in a reverse mortgage when we talk about seniors, right? Because one or two things. So seniors are either they have an advocate, and so they know that they can use programs like what you just asked about. So they've got someone that can do the work, find the work, start the application. It's a process, like most things, it's a process. And they can get the funding, right? Someone will come out and say, yes, we do need to paint the chip paint and all this other stuff happening. Yes, right? And then on the other aspect, they get sold reverse mortgage products as a way to fix and restore the home. I'm not opposed to that. I just think with reverse mortgages, the senior homeowner, should have a clear understanding of the program, the funding, and an exit strategy in terms of, is it their intent to leave something for their legacy, right? Leave something for their family, heirs, beneficiaries. And that's an involved conversation. Great question. Keep dropping them. I'm here for it. All right. So back to funding. No FHA when we're talking about buying a fixer. Okay. But let me clarify that. No FHA 203B loans. Okay. That is your standard move-in loan. Standard move-in loan. Most of you, when you start this, you are getting the FHA 203B loan. You're welcome. You are getting the 203B standard move-in ready type loan. You cannot use this funding for a property that needs work. It needs to meet HUD underwriting guidelines. That means it needs to be habitable, it needs to be safe, it needs to be livable. Okay, so this picture of the house that I got behind me, no go, not gonna work, not gonna work. Okay, good. So what kind of FHA loan? So then how do I buy a fixer? Do you remember the show Property Brothers? Do you guys remember that show, Property Brothers? I don't think they're still doing it. The twins, and they were doing the Property Brothers. I really liked watching that show, and guess why? They were using these rehab loan products, 203K, right? So FHA 203K, that's what the loan is that they were using. And so when they would, I just love that show, because they were like, hey, they were walking people into homes they couldn't afford. Like, they're like, wait a minute, this is way out of my budget. Yes, way out of your budget, but boom, if you go FHA 203K rehab loan, now you've got a loan product that rolls in the purchase price plus the rehab work that you get to customize that home to your liking. This is how we go from fixer to now dream home potentially, fixer to now income property potentially, right? This is how we go into fixer to entry level home if you are not afraid of the time and a little bit of legwork, because it's a process. We're talking about rehab here. If you're listening, that's because you've been thinking about a fixer. You've been thinking about rehab and something. You want to drive a sledgehammer through a piece of drywall. Well, this is how you do that. Is through the FHA 203K rehab loan. That's how you do that, okay? There's one more also. Let me drop this one as well. So it's the Fannie Mae. I've got some good stuff for you. Keeping up with me? This is good stuff so far? Good. Fannie Mae home style renovation. Oh, and by the way, both these loan products, well, home style is 93%, FHA 203K, still 3.5% down. The value, so you've got to qualify for basically the purchase price of the property plus whatever rehabs you're thinking about. Okay, so if you are qualified for the 203B, your standard move in, maybe have them run a 203K rehab loan just as a backup if you can't get something in the area you want at the price range you are pre-approved for. Got to be strategic. This is why I call our meet strategy meets, is because we're being strategic in how to leverage OPM, other people's money. Got it? Other people's money. So we're doing both FHA 203K rehab loan. That beats getting a regular loan, and then you got to go open a line of credit at Home Depot or Lowe's so that you can start buying materials and doing all the rehab work yourself. And then you're exhausting your savings, your pension, that whole thing. Guess what? Just rolling into the 203K rehab loan, purchase price and renovation work. And the 203K rehab loan has both two little products built into that. It has one product that has a cap on, they extended that, by the way, because they were like, no one's out here doing, rehab. The contractors are not going to move for less than, I think it's 60,000. So they've changed the cap between this, what they call the streamline and the one that's a little bit more extensive, right? So all involved. I'm not going to get too much in the details about it. Just know it's available, know it's out there, because I'm talking about the money when we're saying I want to buy a fixer and you come to us and then you're looking at properties that don't qualify for the loan you're approved for. That's what I want to get across here. You got to get qualified for the loan that you're approved for. That's how this works. So let me finish my thoughts here on Fannie Mae home style renovation, as long as I can type today. Renovation. Perfect. So write that down. Here's another one. Grab another screen grab. So again, Fannie Mae home style renovation, that's 3% down. FHA is 3.5% down. Fannie Mae home style renovation is 3% down. What's the difference with the program? So the lenders are looking at that. So not only are they looking at the AGI in your tax return, when I talked about tips for the quarter, getting your tax situation right, the lender is also looking at another three-letter word or a three-letter acronym. So DTI, very, very common. Didn't I tell you? Listen, didn't I tell you this is a show for real estate literacy, education, terms and concepts? That's what it is here. That's what we do. You get into this game, I need you to know the language. Okay. DTI is the next one. Debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio. So based on the product that you end up, it's because it's based on your debt to income ratio. How much debt you're carrying, right? What your expenses are, in relation to the income that you're bringing in. We want to keep the debts low, income always high, right? However you can make however you can earn your living. We encourage and support that. So based on those products are based, right? Conventional. The only one that's based on status, and specifically military status, or whether you came from military parent, family, spouse, is VA loans. VA loans. Okay, how are we feeling about that? Pretty good. So what did I just drop? Those are our two loans. So don't come and say, I want to buy a fixer and you've got a standard loan and we now need to take the extra step. That's okay. But this, you now know, it's okay. It doesn't mean that we can't go back to the lender, with the exception of not all lenders have, very important, put an asterisk by this, not every lender offers the rehab loans. They're involved at minimum 60, 90 days to 120 days, depending. They're involved. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I just want to make sure we're still going. Yeah, still going. Something happened on my IG. Don't know. I think they lost me. But come back on YouTube. Find me on YouTube. Okay. Let's see here. Let's move on. Boom. Money. Now let's talk inspections. No matter how much of an expert you think you are, how much you think you know, my most experienced investors will absolutely get an inspection of all major systems, including foundation. Okay. My most experienced investors, they will do this. So guess what? You new to the game, you need to have the budget for the inspections. And that can range anywhere from, yes, general home inspections are 600. And then we have specialty inspections where we're checking the roof, the electrical, the plumbing. We're doing a sewer line, a camera down the sewer line. We're doing foundation inspection, right? We're checking all the major systems. So we go from 500-600 on general home inspection to something really inclusive and involved, where you really get to know this property that you are considering investing in, right? Whether you're going to move in it or not, you need to know what you're getting into. So 600, anywhere upwards of $1,500 to $2,000 on inspections alone. I know when we talk about home ownership and buying a property, most people aren't talking about the out-of-pocket costs. That's one of them. The out-of-pocket costs are the inspections. You're going to spend on that. I need you to budget for it. I'll feel a lot more comfortable. And guess what? That's how we can negotiate, right? If I'm on the buy side with you, that's how I get to negotiate the deal. Hello. I get to negotiate that way. Now we can talk about price reductions. Clearly, they're not fixing anything if we're dealing with a fixer, but we can say, you know what, we found a little bit more going on here than we expected, and we need a price reduction. Woohoo! We like the price reductions. Why? Because the savings translates in the long term of the loan. Very good. Moving on. Clear title. Very important. Very important. You're still with me? So what we cover? I need you to know ASAP when you're buying a fixer, the financing, rehab loans, that's the way to go if you're not using all cash or hard money or private money. Second thing we talked about was what? Inspections. I need you to budget for it. $1,500 to $2,000 on inspections. Yes, I said it. Clear title. Read the preliminary report. So once we're in escrow, right, under contract, we need to make sure that we can clear title. We need to make sure the person selling the property to us has the authority to sell the property to us. We need to make sure that an insurance company, if you're doing any of these loans, they will require title insurance. So we want to make sure that we can clear title, that someone's not showing up trying to sue you later for buying their legacy home, their generational home. Grandpa said it was for me and I didn't get the notice of the probate that was happening for whatever reason, and now I'm going to sue somebody, and I'm going to sue you, buyer, because you bought the house that I was supposed to get. That's how that works. So we need to make sure we are checking the prelim. In short, it's called a prelim. Prelim. I feel like I'm grabbing a shirt and be like, check the prelim. Run that prelim for me. That's one of the first things we do when we're working with our clients is we look at the prelim. If we're taking a listing, we're checking the prelim. We want to make sure that we can transfer clear title because it's actually a condition of the contract. It's a condition of the purchase contract is being able to transfer clear marketable title. However, if we are buying a fixer, it is possible that we will not be able to transfer marketable title. What does that mean, Lisa? What do you mean? What are you talking about? There's a lot of money. You just said I have to do all this work. I got to spend on inspections. And you're telling me I won't get marketable title? What does that mean, marketable title? That means that you'd be able to sell this without a problem, without interference, interruption, with any other encumbrances or liens. And what's popular with those deferred, dilapidated properties sitting down at the corner, in the middle of the block, across the street, down the way? What is popular? What is happening? The city is collecting fines against that property. When they come out and they inspect a property, let's say if you called yourself and you said, you know what, that house is creating a nuisance, there are people breaking in, there's rodents, raccoons, there's, all kinds of animal, whatever's going on with it, right? That comes with properties, it sits, whatever happens, and you report that property, guess what? The city now has eyes on it. They now come out, they inspect the property, they said, yes, there's a problem. They locate the last known owner, send them a notice and say, hey, we went to inspect, and here is a list of all the violations that we have cited, and you have 30 days to resolve these violations. 30 days. If you ignore them, a couple things are happening. The fees go up. They continue to send you a notice. They give you a whole due process of that, right? Give you a notice and whatnot. And then they do this. They slap you with an abatement lien. What? Yes, they slap you with an abatement lien. What is an abatement lien? The abatement lien is such a nightmare to deal with when we're in escrow and title, because sometimes the lender is like, no, we don't want, we got to resolve this. We don't want to finance a property with an abatement lien. However, if you are using some of these loans, guess what? There's a way for us to work through it, which means the abatement lien says the city is not releasing their lien off that property until you fix what's wrong with it. So perfect. You're using a rehab loan. You and the lender and your agent got to communicate to the city and say, guess what? That's fine. Send us the updated list. Send us what the notices are. What do we need to comply with? You take that list with your contractor. Yes, by the way, you probably getting a contractor, needs to be an approved contractor that knows how to work with these rehab loans, because they get paid through escrow to do the work. I love this better than you finding someone and then you're trying to make installment payments, right? You're trying to give them the withdrawals or progress payments and then they disappear. When it's done this way, the money's protected, the process is protected, you are protected. I like this better if we're going to go this route for buying a fixer. And we got to deal with contractors, because dealing with contractors can be an issue, right? Exactly. So we let the city know, fine. They give us the list. We work through it. You fund the property, you close the property. And guess what? You start working on that list as you starting to rehab that property, because you are going to run into the possibility that there's an abatement lien attached to that property because there's overgrown vegetation. They've got like sheds and storage and cars sitting out on the front of the property. Life has happened, right? People use their properties and they have nowhere to go, and no situation is showing a light of resolution. We start to see things surface, especially when we deal with properties that for seniors, right? And their cars stop working. They don't have anyone helping them. Then the city gets involved, and not in a way that we are happy about. Okay. How are you feeling about this? Cool. Any more questions? This is my top, you guys. I feel like that's good to work with right now. We covered the money. We covered inspections. We covered prelim. and abatement liens. If you are thinking about buying a fixer, these are the things that you should know about, okay? With that being said, you have been amazing. If you want to contact me directly, you've got my cell. This is my personal cell, direct text, call. I do answer the phones and I do respond. Go figure. Someone who answers their phone. 323-488-3265. Again, that's 323-488-3265. I am a California broker, licensed. I've been in the business for some time. If you want to send me an email, you can. If you want me to look at something, you can send it to me, Lisa@LASuperagent.com. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Call, text, feeling good about today. Wonderful. Have a powerful and productive week, you guys. We'll see you next week on another information-packed episode right here, same channel. Take care. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you for listening to the Ready, Set Real Estate Podcast with Lisa Gillett, the LA Super Agent. Please like, subscribe, and share LA Super Agent